We're talking about this week is the mighty Barbera pickup. You can find these on Wood Violins, Jordan, Stratton Skull, Vector uses this for some of their violins and violas. 3D Various uses this. MSI uses this. There's a bunch of other manufacturers, but those are the ones that we carry that use the Barbera pickup. There is an issue that sometimes comes up with these pickups. And we actually hear from some people that are saying, hey, I got my pickup, the violin sounded great, all of a sudden my A string is like a third the volume of the other strings. Okay? Here's how this pickup works. See this little cassette here that's different color wood? That's why I'm using this one instead of the painted black ones. All your pickup complexes are inside here. This thing has to be able to move freely. And if you use a ton of rosin, or if you've got a bunch of dust or a bunch of funk or whatever around, that rosin or dust can get inside this little area here where this has to be able to vibrate. And it can inhibit vibrations, and or down inside here. And then this thing is not going to work properly. I don't use a lot of rosin for precisely that reason, but you can see where I got some like little dents and stuff in mine here. Occasionally my D string will start to, it doesn't sound quite as crisp as the other strings. I'll whack it with the bow. I'm not always that gentle. And that's why there's a couple dents in the top of this thing, but it does make it open up a little bit. Basically, if you've got a string that maybe isn't responding just right, maybe hit some compressed air in here. You want to go easy on the rosin. You really don't need that much rosin, honestly. If you're using good rosin, you don't need a ton of it. So you do want to make sure all this stuff is moving freely. Keep the dust and the rosin dust and all that mess out of there. Rich was telling me today it is designed to be repairable by him. These are sort of sensitive. Inside, he puts every one of these together by hand, and this is not like an assembly line process. Each one of these things is made by hand, and then it's tested during the whole assembly process several times to make sure, hey, this thing's balanced out, it's doing what it's supposed to do. They look really stout and they look really beefy and thick, right? But you can't just beat the tar out of these things because those little complexes in there can break, okay? So it is possible that you can lose a piezo element in there, and the way that will manifest itself is very much like having too much dust inside there. So what will happen is you have C, G, D, E. So the one string where it's gone bad is going to be maybe a third the volume of the other ones. And yeah, it sucks. You're pretty much out of commission. But it's not as common as just having gunk in there, okay?